This is Elvira, and you're listening to the Timo and Carly Show.
Welcome to the Timo and Harley Show.
Thank you for listening to the Timo and Harley Show. I am Timo. Over there is my partner in mind crime, Mr. Ben Harley. Say hello, Harley.
What is happening, people?
Ben Hee-Haw Harley.
That's right. I'm a junior samples type of guy.
I know that. You remember when I'm back when I had DirecTV when I was at the Oasis, lived back there.
Yeah.
I did get the rural channel, which was kind of like the farmer's channel. Mm-hmm. And I think that it was like the Hee-Haw channel. Yes, and I got to admit, I went through some hee-haw, and I'm like, hee-haw hasn't aged with me. The memory of hee-haw has aged really well, like a fine wine with me. But the reality of it was kind of like, I'm glad it was what it was,
Yeah, it's fun, though. I must say I'm a big Barbie Benton fan.
She was in, a lot of her was in a horror film that was called X-Ray. That I have actually, and a whole lot of her was in it. Like,
you better send that over to me.
I will. It just hasn't made its way there yet. Actually, I think it was on Prime for quite a while. It's called X-Ray. So if you want to see a lot of Barbie Benton in a weird slasher movie in a hospital, that's what it is. Yes. Yeah.
I met one of the girls from Hee Haw once, Timo. Kenny Rogers married one of them, one blonde girl from there.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember her name. She was a pretty good singer, too. Uh-huh. But, I met him and her when I was a kid in Florida.
You didn't play cards with Kenny, did you?
No. Good thing. I know when to hold him, when to fold him, Timo.
Exactly, right on. So you still have this wedding coming up here soon.
Gosh, Tim.
Yeah.
Whew, yes, we actually did a walkthrough, the final walkthrough. So I got to see, and I've been out to where they're actually getting married at. This gentleman, Duke Wheeler, owns it. He owns like a Christmas tree farm. And
wait, you just said his name is Duke Wheeler?
Duke Wheeler.
That just sounds like a guy. It's like passing you money under the table. Does he wear like a rhinestone cowboy hat too?
Yeah.
Or?
I don't play cards with him either, Tim.
Right. So your daughter's getting married at a Duke Wheeler's place. Okay,
Duke Wheeler's. Duke
right.
Wheeler's. Yeah, he's got a tree farm out there, and he's got he's got a pumpkin patch and a butterfly house, and then he has this kind of stables area. Which, Tim, there's no horses really in the stables, so that's where.
Good. That's good.
But the thing I'm worried about it, they're getting married like right out behind there, and the reception's right there. So hopefully there's no rain, or the wedding will be inside the reception hall as well. But it's a really, really beautiful. And we went out there the other day, and things got a little bit real.
I bet.
Man, things are coming together.
You didn't start crying already, did you?
No, not yet.
You're waiting for the waterworks?
Probably walking down the aisle with her, but we'll see.
Right.
I'm going to try to hold him back.
You ain't going to be able to. You're going to think of me, too, like, damn you, Timo, damn you.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Yeah.
But since old Duke Wheeler has a pumpkin patch.
Yeah,
I got a little
pumpkin patch one time.
Well, I got a little surprise for you. And it shouldn't be a surprise because this isn't like hidden information from anyone, but I think it's just something I know that you don't know. But right now, as I'm looking at the clock, I believe we have about 5 minutes until we hit fall.
Oh, yeah.
Officially hits fall as we record this.
Yeah.
And I was and then you said you had a pumpkin patch. Well, I got to thinking, and this was a while back. Okay. I got to thinking, I had a friend whose name, now get this, his name was Chad.
Chad.
Yes, Chad.
Okay.
And I'll never forget, me and my pal Don Bailey, who you've met before, we put together a haunted house many, many years ago. I think I was like 20 or 21 years old. And we did like this haunted house, and we gave some of the money for researching lupus, I do believe. And so it was our good deed.
My mom had lupus, yeah.
So okay, well, that's what we did. So that's I think Don's girlfriend at the time, his mom or her mom, I believe, had lupus as well. So we did a little benefit haunted house for lupus. Chad had the ability to take me off my game. Now you don't. I mean, yeah, he had a talent. So I'm giving Chad a lot of credit here. Basically, like for instance, he came up to me and then while we were working on the haunted house, it was behind a country western bar. Believe it or not.
Okay.
And there were some pretty cowgirl ladies that would come out and you know, I don't know, they would come in out of their cars and we would admire some young ladies sometimes. And Chad would come up to me with these crazy one-liner deals like. That chick right there is a Black & Decker Packer Racker. You know, he was one of those kinds of guys. Like, he had those ready to go. So he came up to me, and this is the first time I'd ever heard this, believe it or not. Believe it or not, as a Midwest kind of guy, the first time I ever heard this, he came up to me one time, and we were putting some pumpkins around the haunted house. And he goes, Frost shown the pumpkin means it's time for Peter Duncan. Okay. So, of course... That was about 10 minutes out of my life I couldn't recover from because I wasn't ready for any of that. So over the years, I keep hearing this term frosting a pumpkin. I'm going somewhere with this. So since we're just turning over to fall right now, as we speak, fall is like now 4 minutes old. I actually found what frost on the pumpkin means. So get this. I don't know if you know this or not. And you might out of all people might know what this is. It was a poem. By James Whitcomb Riley. All right. So I thought that I would read for the show, since in honor of fall and Halloween and everything, and Chad, in honor of Chad, I'm going to read the poem When the Frost is on the Punkin. Not pumpkin. Okay. It's Punkin. So when the frost is on the pumpkin. So here we go. You ready? Yeah. You got time? You ready for this? All right. Here we go.
Yes, I'm ready.
And I'm going to do it in Chad's voice. My Chad's voice. And of course, I'm being silly here. This isn't really Chad's voice. I'm not going to say When the frost is on the pumpkin and the fodder's in the shock, and you hear the kayuk and gobble of the strutting turkey cock, and the clacking of the guineas and the clucking of the hens, and the rooster's hallelujah as he tiptoes on the fence. Oh, it's the times a feller is a feeling at his best, with the rising sun to greet him from a night of peaceful rest. As he leaves the house bareheaded and goes out to feed the stock, when the frost is on the pumpkin and the fodder's in the shock. There's something kind of hearty-like about the atmosphere when the heat of summer's over and the cooling fall is here. Of course we miss the flowers and the blossoms on the trees, as the mumble of the hummingbirds and buzzing of the bees. But the air's so appetizing, and the landscape through the haze of a crisp and sunny morning of the early autumn days. Ain't the picture that no painter as the coloring to mock, when the frost is on the pumpkin and the fodder's in the shock. The husky rustle of the tussles of the corn, and the rasping of the tangled leaves as golden as the morn. The stubble of the furries, kind o' lonesome like, but still preaching sermons to us of the barns they growed to fill. The straw stack in the medder, and the reaper in the shed, the hosses in their stalls below, the clover overhead. Oh, it sets my heart a-clicking like the ticking of a clock when the frost is on the pumpkin and the fodder's in the shock. Then your apples all gathered, and the ones a feller keeps is poured around the cellar floor in red and yellow heaps. And your siding making's over, and your women folks is through with their mince and apple butter and their sauce and sausage too. I don't know how to tell it, but if such a thing could be, as the angels wantin' boardin', and they'd call around on me, I'd want to condominate them, all the whole enduring flock, when the frost is on the pumpkin and the fodder's in the shock. There you go.
That way, Timo. Well, thank you, Tim, and welcome fall.
Welcome fall, yes. And actually, the poem is written with that dialect. So cluckin' is C-L-U-C-K-I-N with the little apostrophe next to it. So it's definitely in common folk terms. Folk terms, Mr. Bernard. So that is where
good
frost on the pumpkin comes from. There you go. Little education here on the Tim Owen Harley Show. For who, Mr. Ben Harley? Who was that for? The deep thinkers.
The deep thinkers.
The deep thinkers needed a little frost on the pumpkin. So there we go. We got some frost on the pumpkin. So, all right. So now that you've got, what's his name? Dealey Plaza, and then
Duke Wheeler.
Duke Wheeler.
Dealey Plaza. I like that.
I bet Duke Wheeler was at Dealey Plaza. I'm so sorry. And we got frost on the pumpkin. Let's see. You got Duke Wheeler's.
Duke Wheeler.
He's embezzling money out of you so that your daughter can get married.
Yeah. Oh, he is. He's
Mr. Ben Harley, it's fall.
No, I don't think he's going to have a pumpkin patch this year, Tim.
Oh, he's not?
I don't know.
He's got no frost on the pumpkin.
Yeah, usually he does it in shapes and in really weird, cool shapes and different things. And I think he might have done a Toledo walleye pumpkin patch one year or something.
Did he? You're going to have to ask old Duke Wheeler, do you actually know where frost on the pumpkin means? And then you say, my friend Timo read me the whole poem of frost on a pumpkin.
Yeah. Tim, I've seen the weirdest thing, though. Like, so we down the way, there's another barn where the groomsmen and the fathers get dressed before the wedding and stuff. And this is a 3-story barn, Tim, and up at the top of the barn had a hardwood floor with a basketball hoop up there. I thought, this is awesome. I was like, I might move in this place. Not that I like basketball that much, but I'm like, that's pretty cool, man. I mean, I never thought I'd see that before.
No, I tell you what, these Amish folks are getting sophisticated, though.
Yeah, they is. Yes, they are.
I used to think they made a damn good chair. Now they make a damn good basketball court on the third floor of a barn.
On the third floor of a barn, yeah.
Jeez. Wow. Man, all right.
Well, pretty neat. Very good. Yeah, I'm very excited. Thanks again for asking, Tim.
All right. Well, we're gonna run through some stuff we watched here. So let's get going on this. And I had to take some time for frost on the pumpkin and make sure you were still hanging in there, and Duke Wheeler wasn't taking you leaving you a penny or two, maybe a little pocket lint. Leave a little bit of that
shaking me up and down. Yeah, I'm telling you.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here we go, Mr. Ben Harley. Let's see here. Some fun stuff I thought I'd let you know about. Here we go. Okay. So from 1980. All right. Now here we go. We're gonna do my little. I kind of like doing this a week or two ago. We're gonna do a little game. I'm gonna name the year. It's a movie, and then you're gonna tell me if you can figure out what movie I watched. It's always gonna be a pretty easy one. Okay. I'm not gonna hurt you. It's not gonna be like some kind of art film or something like that. So, all right. So from 1980. All right. Starring Craig T. Nelson. I'm gonna go backwards and go forward. So.
Okay.
Joe Beth Williams.
Poltergeist.
No. 1980. All right.
80, okay.
Directed by Sidney Poitier.
Whoa. Man,
also starring Richard Pryor. 1980. Also starring Gene the Hair Wilder.
Okay.
1980.
Okay. Yeah, one of the stir crazy.
Yes. Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. You're batting 1,000 for this. All right, very good. Yes, what's Stir Crazy? Good time.
Love that movie.
Yes. Oh my God, it hit Angie in tears laughing at it. So she thought it was so funny.
Those two were so good together. They had such a weird. It was different, but man, that was one of my favorite comedy duos, really. And I don't think a lot of people really remember them as a comedy duo, which they didn't go on stage and do, comedy bits or anything like Cheech and Chong or Abbott and Costello or anything like that. But I'm just saying they were
a team.
A few movies. Yeah. They did a few movies together,
Like 4 or 5. Yeah. I mean, I see them as a little bit of a team. I think I see them as a team and as separates too. But when they're together, you're in for it. And I know Gene Wilder they loved each other, which was nice. It's nice to see.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, this 1980, this was the first movie directed by an African-American, Sidney Poitier, that grossed over 100 million.
Yeah.
There's me being a jerk. $100 million, believe it or not. That was the first movie. Yeah. And Richard Pryor was the first African-American actor to earn $1 million for a film, and that was it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that was
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a good funny movie.
Oh my God,
it's prison bits and stuff are great.
The part that got Angie a lot was when they make them work. They did the hard labor and they come in all tired. And they fall asleep in their cell, and they wake them up the next morning, and they're trying to put on the same pair of pants. Yeah, that one got her. So okay,
yeah. There's some funny stuff in that movie, but yeah, what a good one, man. I miss those two.
Oh, absolutely. All right, so moving forward here, I'm going to cut out a lot of stuff here. I did watch. Let me just run through some stuff from 1961. Watched The Shadow of the Cat with Barbara Shelley in it. That was not too bad. Reading of the Will. Cat scratch fever kind of horror,
Nice.
Let's see here. And then from 1984, we watched Angel. You remember Angel? That was the high school girl, and then she was a prostitute at night. And who was that starring?
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Gosh.
It's my girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Donna Wilkes. Donna Wilkes from Jaws 2. Yes. And also Rory Calhoun, Farmer Vincent himself, played the old Kaji cowboy out in the streets, and then
that's been a while since I've seen that one.
Yep, Dick Shawn played the cross-dressing guy with the heart of gold, and good stuff.
Donna Wilkes had a crush on Tim.
Yeah. I wasn't asking for it neither. I was not asking for it whatsoever. I ran to the hills. I tell you that much. Yeah. So let's see here. Moving on. Oh, here's something interesting, Mr. Ben Harley. I did not watch this completely, but I got a little interesting tidbit for you. From 1968, I acquired, and I'm getting the whole series, by the way. You'll be glad to know this, but I acquired the original The Love Bug, Herbie movie.
I started watching that not too long ago on the Disney network.
Were you?
And I forgot a lot about that first one. A lot.
Well, I'm going to give you some information you might not have realized. Because Ben Harley, when Timo watches a movie, he likes to read credits like it's a novel. He loves to read credits. And who did I see in the old credits of The Love Bug? But a Richard Warlock.
Richard Warlock, really?
Dick Warlock is in Herbie. Nice. I'm sure he's in one of the car driving scenes or something like that. But still, But still, we are one degree of separation away from The Love Bug, Herbie himself. Yeah,
Herbie himself. Exactly. Yeah. Buddy Hackett.
Oh yeah. Now the next one I'm skipping ahead too. I'm going to the third one next because Herbie in Monte Carlo stars my good friend Mr. Don Knotts. I'm going for that one next. Yes, I got to have the Don Knotts one, so I'm getting that one next. Then I'm going to the second one. Then I'm going back to the second one. So
I was really worried about Don Knotts. I sent you a message the other day. I watched some Andy Griffith. That's my man. Jamie Farr. I send you a picture of Jamie Farr who played a gypsy in one of the episodes, but there was no Don Knotts. Did he? I can't remember.
He kind of peeled off the show. Yeah. He kind of. I think he wasn't on as many of them as people think he was. He was like maybe on half of them.
And this was in color too. These were the ones that were in color.
Yeah, you're getting close to Mayberry RFD or whatever that was called. I know. Let's not talk. Or let's not talk about what was the other one I didn't like. Gomer Pyle. No, thank you. No, thank you. As Chance would say when he was little. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. So. Let's see, real quick, moving along, Mr. Ben Harley. I'm just reading off some things here because we got some other things to talk about. Here we go. Now, here's a couple things. From 1975, I got to tell you about this movie, okay? I watched a movie called Thundercrack. Okay, Thundercrack from 1975. Yes, like Thundercrack. Okay. Yes. I just want to tell you. I said 1975, right? Okay, so this movie is a cross between The Old Dark House, Pink Flamingos, and Deep Throat, with a touch of cucumber porn thrown in.
Wait a second.
Yeah. The 1970s is the weirdest decade of all time. Okay, we just need to get that out of the way. It's a weird decade.
Yes, the weirdest decade. I'm not sure what it wanted to be at times.
Oh no, this is a 2-hour and 40-minute art house porn movie, written by a soft-headed guy who I don't think ever left his apartment. I don't think he's ever had sex. Because the guy who wrote the movie is in it. His name is George Kuchar. And anybody who's into underground cinema kind of knows who this guy is. He has a brother named Mike, and they were twins, and they made these. They looked like old John Waters movies. John Waters probably ripped off everything these guys did, including the crazy makeup.
Oh, really?
John Waters. But they did weird, uncomfortable things. Like they had these kind of icky movies, and they would cast their mom.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to dance on any I don't want to go any further than that. But so let me put it this way. You know, like how in the movie, like that Onababa movie that I like, there's grass everywhere. It's just grass. Unfortunately, this movie has hair everywhere. 70s hair. 1970s. I don't know what they were putting in the water back in the 1970s, but it grew really icky, oily hair all over the body.
Bad hairstyles.
Yes.
I had a couple of them.
Well, I'm not talking about...
Not that I wanted, but yeah.
Yeah, well, we're talking about... Okay, maybe they were still wearing hats, but I still saw too much hair. How about that?
Okay, yeah.
I'm not talking about head hair. I'm talking about, like, hair you probably...
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
hair. Body hair.
Yes.
Okay.
1970s.
Yeah.
So it is... These people, they get... Like the old dark house, they get stranded in a home with a whack job woman. Okay. Yeah. I mean, all these people, remember, it's shot in black and white, 2 hours and 40 minutes of porn. It's hardcore porn. Okay.
Wow.
Art house. It was made in the wake of Deep Throat and all this stuff. Okay, so they were trying to make a buck. The writer himself, George Kuchar, all right, he wrote it and he's in it. He wrote himself a part where he gets pleasured by a gorilla.
What?
Don't get me started on the rampaging killer elephant outside the house. Don't get me started on it.
Oh, man.
Woo, Ben Harley.
Wow.
Thundercrack, 1975. This was an educational movie for me. This was when
what was this on, Tim?
I got Severin put it. I'm not Severin. Synapse put it out. Synapse put it out.
Oh, my God.
So I got it. It looked interesting. I was like, oh, what's this? Oh, an old art house movie I haven't seen. Oh, my. Oh, dear. Yeah, this looks pretty good. And I put it in and I was like, it's definitely out there. I mean, it's one of those deals where there are hardcore sex scenes and they're still sticking to a lot of really funny, bad, awful, what the hell dialogue. A girl is putting something into her mouth while kneeling in front of a guy and giving dialogue. Stilted dialogue while doing it. And you're like, oh, what? Yeah. Thundercrack. Beware the elephant outside your door. Yeah. I don't want to talk about the zucchini cucumber porn. We're just not going to talk about... We're just not going to go there. All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty...
Had to mention that. You know, I had to know it exists now, and now so do you and everyone else. So the hell with all of it.
Oh, my goodness.
But I watched it so you didn't have. I actually thought it was actually pretty compelling just because it was so... What am I looking at here? That's really a gorilla. That really just happened, didn't it? You know? This is the Serbian film of weird 70s black and white art porn.
Yeah, that's so.
You do not know what you're going to see when you go into it. So you know me, I get a kick out of movies that push buttons because I know they're movies. Yeah. And so it actually takes me out of it when you're doing it. And then I actually get a kind of a kick out and start laughing. But this is really something else. Let's put it this way. Not for mixed company. Not for mixed company. Okay. Moving on, Mr. Ben Harley. Moving on here you're going to like this, but hold on. Yeah. Well, you know what? No, you are going to like this. From apparently 2020. Apparently. Okay. But we're talking Amazon Prime here. Could have been 1940 for all I know, because they never had a correct. I watched Gordon Lightfoot, If You Could Read My Mind.
Oh, documentary?
Sometimes I'm better than... All right, so Edmund Fitzgerald. Yeah. I like me some Gordon Lightfoot.
Get you going. Yeah.
You know what's funny, though? I'm a huge Bad Religion fan. You know this. We all know this. Mm-hmm. I'm minding my own business, watching a Gordon Lightfoot documentary, enjoying myself, and who jumps on my screen but Greg Gaffin, the singer of Bad Religion. He goes, and he's like kind of looking around like, I hope no punk rockers are watching this. I mean, he's on a Gordon Lightfoot documentary. You know, I don't think there's any punk rockers watching. Of course, I was watching, so I'm just saying. And he said the Bad Religion would always cover the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald in practice.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
I would love to hear Bad Religion play that song.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that. That'd be good.
They're the best punk rock band at playing covers. I mean, that Christmas record they did was awesome. A Bad Religion does a Christian record, or Christian Christmas record. Thundercrack, 1975, Mr. Ben Harley, Killer Elephants. That's what I'm saying. All right.
So where'd you watch the Gordon Lightfoot?
That is also on Amazon Prime. Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Gordon Lightfoot. It is good. Yeah, it's the real deal. Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah.
If you could read my mind. Yes. So I would highly recommend. It's a good printing movie to watch.
They would say when he would play up there, he'd have to play in between hockey periods. He would play because while at the bar, he wasn't allowed to play while they were actually watching the game. He'd have to play in between.
Well, he was probably watching the game too.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
Plus, he didn't want to get hit with the beer can or something.
Right. Yeah. But it was good. It was good. I do like me some Gordon Lightfoot. I know people are like, "Aren't you a punk rock?" I was like, "Yeah, look, you don't know me. You just don't know anything." So I like me some Gordon Lightfoot. So. All right, so here you go. From 1972, Mr. Ben Harley, 1972, I watched the new HD transfer. Finally got my eyes on the restoration, brand new transfer of Legend of Boggy Creek.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you what, not perfect by any means, but where they got this film is where you've never seen it before. It's like watching the movie for the first time. It's in true widescreen. You can finally see things. That helps. And you can finally hear things, which also helps a lot.
Helps a lot, yeah.
So now you can see and hear it. It helps a lot. Doesn't help the movie a whole lot, but it does help like to actually see it. So now you can actually see like the Sasquatch mask, and I guess it isn't Sasquatch. It's a Boggy Creek monster, which technically you don't know if it was exactly. Sure. Well, okay, but still, it was. You can see it now a little bit more.
Sure.
Things,
well, because there were so many things back in the day. It was just like it going, back in the background through trees or walking around. You couldn't see it at all. I mean, you really had to, kind of piece in. Your mind had to piece in what was happening because you just, you know what I mean. You couldn't really see it at all. Mm-hmm. And for me, that was a bummer as a kid. Though it did make it a little bit scary.
It did.
Too. It did make it pretty darn scary because you really didn't know what was going down. You know?
Right.
But I really do like that movie. But yeah, you're right. It's not.
Well, it is a historical movie.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's a historic movie for what it really introduced almost everyone we know.
Better than Boggy Creek 2 or 2.5 or whatever.
Oh, yeah. We got those. But it's a historic film because it's basically everyone we know that's our age. Up. That was the thing. They saw Boggy Creek. Yes.
That was
Yes. So a few people have mysterious monsters. Some people quote the In Search of with Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah, I do like that one.
I do too. I think I believe that's when they actually showed the Patterson Gimlin footage.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm. So, but I remember seeing that on TV.
Yeah, Boggy Creek's definitely the one that just freaked me out. And like I said, I read a lot more about Bigfoot than I saw as a kid. I did a lot.
Yeah.
It was when I tried to read as a nerd.
Right. Well, I'm telling people that you can get the Blu-ray if you go to like thelegendofboggycreek.com. It's Charles Pierce's daughter had it restored and is selling it off like their website. But it's just a Blu-ray. It's just like a burned Blu-ray. No, I don't know if it's burned or not, but it's just a bare bones Blu-ray. We'll put it that way. And if you buy the stream on Amazon, it's half price and you get the exact same transfer. And I am a physical media guy. But for a bare bones Blu-ray that's $30 versus a $12 stream, I'm going to shoot for that. And I kind of wanted to see how it looked too before I ever invested money in physical media. And it's definitely it's good. It definitely looks a lot better. I mean, it's every other thing you've seen that said restored bullshit. No, it's not. This was restored. And it's not, like I said, it isn't perfect. They still need some work that they probably couldn't afford, but they got it to a point now where it's like, oh, wow. You had that wow moment, so, and you can see more. You can definitely see a whole lot more. And no, it doesn't always help, but it does help that you can see it now. It's cool that you can actually, that's what that was. Oh, okay. But anyway.
There's a Sasquatch right there.
Yeah, but I do recommend if people, if you're going to spend any coin on a streaming movie, if you want to buy it or anything, it's worth it. Yeah. I think it's worth it. So,
I'd like to own it actually.
Sure. You said you watched Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Yes. Tim, I've only watched this movie. This might have only been like the second, maybe third time I've ever watched this movie. I've come across it over the years and watched a couple minutes of it, but I'm not a real big fan of this movie. Now I know you could probably help me out a lot more on this, Tim, but this is a lot more like the book, right?
Everything that I've seen, all the films follow the book really well in some points and they don't in others. And this is no exception. Yeah. This one, if I remember correctly, this is one that Kenneth Branagh did with Robert De Niro, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this one, I think, combines a couple characters from the book and things. And it does have, all things being equal, it tries harder than a lot of the other ones. We'll put it that way.
Okay,
so, it tries
there
harder.
There we go, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, this one, and I remember even going in, and I do believe I saw this in the theater too, and I remember going in just like, it wasn't real, and I like Robert De Niro. He's good. He's great in some stuff. Some stuff I'm just like, I'm kind of over him a little bit, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I understand.
But, I wasn't happy about them casting him in the first place. I'm like, I don't really know.
Right.
This movie to me, I don't know, Tim. I don't really like it. I just don't like this movie. I get it. I get where they were going with it, but I just don't know what it wants to be. Like, by the end of the time this movie's over, I'm done with it. I'm happy for this movie to be over.
Right.
And then I have a problem with some of these older films, or not older films, but films like that, where they're like, okay, we're just breaking in on science. We're just starting to dabble into, things, but this guy, he can bring stuff back to life, and the whole thing about this one was just kind of really Willy Wonka-ish to me, the way he put everything together, and then you have electric eels, and just, I don't know, I just didn't get it. And here's this guy doing all these things that are so futuristic, and he's up there doing them by himself, man. I can't, for some reason, I cannot really get into this movie. It's just I can't wrap my head around it. Now, I will say, I think I did enjoy Robert De Niro a little bit more, but for me, the whole thing, like where he goes and he lives in them people's, like the pig pen, those people's house, but he does help them, but he listens to them. That's how he learns to read and talk again and stuff. I don't know. I just can't. I don't know, Tim. That's
where the book comes in. That's where it's close.
Yeah.
They never say how Dr. Frankenstein actually makes the creature. No, in the book. Yeah. In the book, he just does it, and they say by scientific methods or means or something. I can't remember. They just kind of mull over how he does it. He just does it. Now the creature does. Yes, he does. He falls in love, I believe, with one of or he gets some eyeballs for one of the people living in the house that he's hiding next to and stuff. So there is some of that is in the Mary Shelley's story. But how he does it is that's all Hollywood. That's all always been, always will be. Yep.
Yeah. He ends up helping them. He kills the landlord, but then the people have to get out of there or something. They take off, and then he freaks out, and then he finishes the book, Dr. Frankenstein's notes, and then he freaks out, all of a sudden just freaks out. I forget why it was, because I think he just realized that Frankenstein disposes of him or discarded of him.
Yeah.
And then he walks across the Arctic or wherever or somewhere to find him, and then I don't know. It's just, to me, it's just a lot of.
That's in the book too, but what you have to. What's better about it is that it's, to me, Frankenstein is a horror story, sort of based on an orphan's tale, like an Oliver Twist or something. It's he as soon as he creates him, as soon as Frankenstein creates the creature, he realizes oh boy,
bad, wrong.
Probably ought not have done. I don't think he thought he could do it. I mean, I honestly didn't think he'd do it, but he literally just abandons the creature. Yeah. There's all these different variations. No, he just walks away and says, "No, I'm done with that," and that's it. That is it. And then the creature goes and kind of educates himself, gets goes through the world and and then comes back because he realizes, you made me, you owe me. I mean, you're responsible for me. And he had no parents, he had no father, he had no one to love, and that's why he tries to force Frankenstein into making him a friend. Yeah. And that's really what it is. And I think the other thing too is that the narrative is odd in films. If you read the book, it's a boat captain telling the story to someone else about a guy that he found in the Arctic. Yeah. Okay, so the captain says, and part of the book talks about the captain.
Yeah.
And then the captain says, "Oh, well, let me tell you a story here. But I was up in the Arctic, and there was we saw a figure out on the landscape, and it's kind of creepy. And then the figure comes up, and it was Frankenstein. It was the doctor, and the doctor is basically on his last leg, and he starts telling the story to
trying to get away
to the captain of the ship that he gets rescued on, and this captain is regurgitating that story to you, the reader, and to the person he's talking to. So that's kind of how the narration goes. So when you're watching the movies, and it's taking the Frankenstein monster from the first person, where it's showing like everything he's doing, that was not in the book. The Frankenstein monster tells Frankenstein that he did all this.
Yes.
Frankenstein is regurgitating that to the boat captain. The boat captain is regurgitating all of this to you. Yeah. So there's like 2 or 3 filters before you get to you from the Frankenstein monster. So it's a little different. And I understand now why it's very hard to make it into a cinematic film. But I still think they could try it. I still think they could do it, but no one's done it yet. I haven't seen it. I've seen every version of Frankenstein out there. And don't roll your eyes. You know I have. And
I know,
and it's just not there. It's not there. So, but very interesting. Now, another interesting movie you said you saw.
Yes, sir.
Which kind of goes along with some crazy things that have been happening to you at the lake, is you saw Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I don't know which movie you saw, but it was called Close Encounters of the Third Kind. We were talking off air before we started the show that you didn't even know, I don't think, knew what version of that damn movie to watch because there's so many of them out now.
Yeah. There's so many,
there's like 3, I
over
think.
the years,
like Blade Runner almost.
Yeah. And, and I love this movie. I really do. It's not one that I watch all the time, but when I watch it, it enthralls me, which I think which I really enjoy about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just one of them I love to watch. I think it's one of those movies. It has it's got that Steven Spielberg thing that gives you the little butterfly feeling in your stomach, like you did when you were a kid and you were being whisked away on a fanciful adventure. I mean, to me, Spielberg I think his films, and a lot of people come together to make a film, including the writers and the the music and everything else. But to me, I think he is going to be seen 100 years from now as like a Jules Verne or H.G. Wells. Yes,
because I think that those people gave people those butterfly kind of feelings, those youthful,
and it's still reverberating, all these years later, and like I just think, with Spielberg, he touches on things. Now I don't like all his films, but I like the majority of them. And it's not that I don't like, some of them I'm just like, I'm okay with, okay, whatever. Like I know you watched that newest one, the Ready Player One, and I watched a few minutes of it recently. It just might be too much for me.
I couldn't get through the whole thing. I couldn't get through it all.
It just might be too much for me, and I'm okay with it. No, and so I can't, but he's made so many movies, Tim, that for me just enthrall me, and Duel's one of them. Duel, Jaws, Close Encounters. You throw E.T. in there,
Jurassic
Park. Jurassic Park. I still working on Schindler's List.
You got to see Schindler's List, man. It's a great movie. It's a great movie.
I've never been so watching Saving Private Ryan. I don't know if I've ever had an experience like that in a theater, like I did watching that movie. You know what I mean? Like just unbelievable. Unreal. But this one, Tim, I don't know. For some reason, I hold a real dear spot in my heart, or in my cinematic heart, I guess, maybe, and I think a lot of it has to do with, it's hard for me to watch this film in places because Spielberg I think he was good also about bringing in family type stuff without beating you over the head with it and making it too much. But in this one, he touches on some spots, and I know I've watched some stuff on him about this movie where some of the things that he did in the movie with the kids and the father actually really kind of happened with him as a kid, Right. First time seeing his father cry and stuff like that, he freaked out, and that's kind of like the same scene they almost have in the movie, you know.
Right.
And you really, for me, seeing some of the things that I've seen recently and bringing back other memories and stuff that I've talked about, I can kind of see where, and plus even just us talking about the Bigfoot stuff, how someone could just like not snap, but lose it, man. Like, and he does in this, man, where he has the experience and that's all he can think about. You know what I mean? And just, how can you imagine, though, like watching your neighbor come unglued or come out of his house and start digging up his plants and throwing them into the house and start doing shit like, what is this guy doing, man? You know what I mean? Like, or
it's him discovering why he keeps seeing a shape in his head.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why he can't get it out of his head and why he, and then like half the movie there, he's, and especially now with the way movies are so cleaned up, half his face is sunburned and,
right.
It's not, he looks crazier and he's getting crazier, and then when he goes up to the spot where, he's not supposed to be going and, and he figures out that the government's not doing these things. The scene where he's in there and he's like, who are you people and all this? It's a very good scene. It's like, I don't know. I enjoy the movie more nowadays for everything else than I do for the aliens. Is when I was a kid, the whole seeing the UFOs, and then it is breathtaking if you've never seen the movie when the giant, the big UFO comes out, the big daddy shows up, and you're like, wow. But to me, a lot of that stuff is not as breathtaking to me anymore like it was. It doesn't, it's just the rest of the movie that just, and it's what a good movie.
Right. The scene where they take the little kid, that one's always going to be a good creepy. That one was like, hey, Poltergeist is going to be made eventually. Now he didn't technically he didn't direct Poltergeist, but you could see like the little robot guy moving around on its own and things like that. Kind of a supernatural, a little supernatural touch to it when the things started coming to life before the aliens came. That was good.
The kid, man, the kid is so good too because he's like the whole time he's ice cream and he's toys and he's not scared at all.
Right.
And the mom's, and she's terrified, and he thinks it's fun. And then for him to like when he's been taken away and he loses her out the door and then she runs out, can't see him, but then you see the stuff going away in the distance. It's like what parent wouldn't just you'd lose your absolute mind, man. You know what I mean? Like, because there's nothing you could do. And then, like, he even says when he comes back, he says, I saw you, Mommy, when they, he was flying away. I saw you down there. And I was just like, I don't know. Tim, I really enjoy going back and watching it. But like I said, for me, nowadays it's much more about the human drama and stuff like that than it is the aliens. It really is.
I like I like how it's a mystery all the way up to the end. Although it's not really a mystery, you know exactly what's happening, but you don't really know the fine details. And so when you're finding out the fine details, like what is he thinking of? Why is he thinking this shape? That's really weird, and stuff. But to me, the aliens are I don't want to call it a letdown. But it's sort of like, we were worried about this. Like we were all worried about this. And I think there's a bit of I don't know if it's intentional or not, but I do think there's a little bit of a lesson in the movie that you're like, sometimes you think things are nefarious and they're not. They're just secret.
Not, right.
Sometimes secrets are secrets because people don't know how to answer you. Right, if the government told the media, let's say, and back in the 70s, we have one of these flying saucers. We don't know what they are, but what we're going to do is we're going to make this big landing strip out in the desert. I mean, come on, man. I mean, first of all, they wouldn't be able to do it because everybody would be there looking, and so I think there's a lot of interesting little tidbits, including the family stuff. That if you stop and think about it, am I supposed to be encouraging Richard Dreyfuss to go away from Terry Garr? Because I would never encourage any gentleman to run away from Terry Garr. No,
Especially back then.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel.
Right. So,
you feel for her, too, in this because it's like, I can understand, like, how do you come home and tell someone, well, this is what happened? She's kind of okay at first, but then when he loses his job because, that's bad, man. That was he screwed up because he kind of just left what everything was going on, because of the blackout and then they said they didn't even want to talk to you. They just fired him. They didn't even talk to him on the phone. They just told her he's fired. Right. Like how's she supposed to take that now? And then you're still losing your mind. And so, a lot of that stuff is.
I saw that. I lived in Central Illinois. Yeah. And Close Encounters, you just saw it. So I'm pretty sure that takes place in Indiana. Correct?
Yeah.
I think it was in Indiana. Mm-hmm. So You gotta understand, we would drive to Indiana for festivals, and because we were not far away, and so that landscape they had, that's where I lived. So when I was little, I was born in 73. That movie came out in 77. I was seeing this movie when I was like 5 years old, and it to me looked like when I walked out my front door. That's what the world looked like to me. So to me, it was very effective to me because it looked like where I lived. I don't know. It did affect me a lot, and I love the movie. But I thought that the whole flying saucers thing, when they were trying to figure out the whole mystery of the whole thing, was, much more interesting.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, where they show up like at the beginning, where they're in like the Dust Bowl or whatever area. They're out in the desert somewhere, and they find them planes, and then it just that had like a little bit of a Raiders of Lost Ark type feel.
Sure.
And in spots with those guys, they had the French scientist or whatever, and
Francois Truffaut.
Yeah, and so that stuff actually lent a lot to the movie too. I thought,
very cool.
But I enjoyed going back and watching it a lot. I mean, a whole lot.
I've been threatening
more than Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I've been threatened.
As much as you hate Bram Stoker's Dracula, I think I hate this Frankenstein.
Wow,
as much as you hate that
I can
one.
see that.
Just,
I don't hate it that much, but I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
I've been threatening to pull out Close Encounters. Also, I got it in 4K a couple of years ago. Not a very good 4K transfer. I was very disappointed.
Oh,
with
really?
It. But I've still been because I like to watch that movie. It's easy to watch. It's very fun to watch.
Yeah.
Close Encounters. I've been kind of debating pulling it out here soon too, and I think I will. Here soon, especially after you've seen it. Now you got me kind of. I got a taste for it now. Now I got to satisfy the itch. Now I got to scratch.
And I'd like to that Terry Garr's name's Ronnie in it. Ronnie, oh, she's so cute. Oh my goodness. Right. Oh, sorry.
Speaking of cute girls, Mr. Ben Harley, let's get to our official little film for this week. Yes,
boobs.
Yes. From 1968, we have it's technically like the third. There was a movie that we're going to review called Terror is a Man. I know you remember coming across that title a couple of times.
Yeah.
But this is the second of the official Blood Island movies. But there is an older one called Terror is a Man. So this is Mad Doctor of Blood Island.
Yeah.
1968 again. So let me get up Movie Guy real quick here and give you a short one-sentence storyline synopsis, which isn't going to be a real shock to anyone. This is a Blood Island film. We did do Brides of Blood, right?
Yes.
And that was the first Blood Island movie, and this is the second Blood Island movie. So just keeping with protocol, let me give you the storyline synopsis here.
Just go with it.
Yeah. Here comes Movie Guy. He'll do it for you. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, no, hold on. Now, hold on a second here. Now, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what it says, all right? Now, this is my problem with the world today. Okay. The storyline synopsis.
More than one, right?
Well, I'm on IMDb right now. I thought this would be easy. I'll just look on IMDb. Let's let everybody know the spot. The IMDb synopsis storyline for this film says this, and I'm not joking here. A man who loves to travels to an island where a mad doctor is creating zombies.
Makes me want to watch it.
A man who loves to you know what? Movie Guy gets the week off. He gets the week off. For God's sake. Okay, so John Ashley, who is from all these Blood Island movies, actually became a producer. Yeah. He was a producer on the A-Team and Apocalypse Now.
I remember you mentioned that.
Yeah. Well,
I like me some A-Team. Well, I actually like both of them. I like Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now was made in the Philippines, too. I think they needed him to help produce that because they needed to go there and make it. Absolutely. Yeah. And he was an actor in How to Make a Monster, Frankenstein's Daughter, but he was also in HUD. So he's in some good flicks. He's in the Muscle Beach Party, Bikini Beach, things like that.
So he's been around the beach. Too,
right. So him and a young lady with assets, an actress by the name of Angelique Pettyjohn, if that is your real name. So he's there to investigate. He's not that he likes to travel. He's there to investigate some kind of outbreak. He's a doctor,
like a chloroform outbreak or some kind of.
They ask him, "Are you a doctor?" He's like, "Sort of." Did you get that? Like they ask him, like, what are you doing here and what do you do? And he gives the most non-answers you've ever heard a character in a movie. Like, wow, that was a shortcut to writing. It's like, what's your name? Ed. You know, like, are you a doctor? Sort of. Why are you here? Not sure yet. I mean, it was just like, come on. Yeah, I can travel. Yeah. He probably does use that excuse. That's probably why it's in there. But yeah, they basically tell him, like, yeah, whatever. So then there's a handsome, like an Islander guy who's with him too. And he's after to find his
mom.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And then mother. Angelique Pettyjohn is there to find her father.
Yes.
Yeah. There's some nefarious disease, fudge, chlorophyll horror.
Yeah, stuff going on, yeah.
It's another Island of Dr. Moreau. It's all it is.
Yeah,
it's all these movies are. They're all the same movie with a different putty-faced monster tearing half-naked women, Islander women apart, Filipino women apart. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying.
No. Yeah. I want to go to the Philippines if there's this many movies around.
Right. I don't want to go there because
there's movies everywhere, Timo, but I'm saying.
The Philippines to me looks like a big mosquito. So it's hard for me.
Oh, yeah, Tim, you would be in bad shape, I think.
Mosquitoes be in great shape. They'd
love you. They want you to come there.
They put lays on me and do a dance and So you start the movie here. We start the movie. Actually, we started with the oath of the green blood.
Yes, there's So they were giving out green blood, I guess, at the shows.
Yes,
at the movie theater.
Yes,
right?
They were. Yep.
And if you drank this serum, you wouldn't get affected by the chloroform, right? Or you drink the green blood. You
got it, buddy. That's how it worked. That's how it worked. Right. Yep. So, and then we're treated to our little opening, which we're actually treated to our first of endless zoom in and out camera effects.
Yeah, I thought about you, Tim. Because
it hurt.
I know how much.
Yeah.
You'd like that shaky cam stuff, but I thought zoom cam you might really enjoy a lot.
Oh man! So every time like the monster shows up in this movie, and this movie is kind of known for this. Yeah. Every time the monster shows up, the geniuses behind the camera decided to zoom in and out like a 1960s psychedelic music video style.
Yeah.
Zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. And it's so not in Jaws. The theme for Jaws plays when the shark is around, so it doesn't lie to you. Every time the creature is around in this movie, it zooms in, zooms out, zooms in. The chlorophyll monster, if you will.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is... He looks like a guy that has like cooled lava on his face with some ham slapped on it. Good gravy.
Yeah, they didn't do a whole lot with... Yeah, they didn't really...
I do admit the black marble eyes are kind of creepy. It has like these little, but it's basically, it kind of looks like it looks like a cold cuts, like ham and maybe some roast beef and a little bit of turkey slapped on, like a coconut face, and then like some black marbles stuck in there for eyes.
It's bad.
No, the kills are pretty effective. The creature will like attack someone, slap them around, and pull their heads off and whap their arms,
disembowel them, and
pull their intestines out.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a lot like Brides of Blood, but they amp up the gore and the nudity.
Yes, is what
they're doing. Yeah. So anyway, go ahead.
They get there and they find what's her name finds her dead, right?
Yeah.
And he's just a drunk tank, isn't he?
He looks like a Godzilla movie villain, and he acts like one too.
Oh, he does, man. Yeah, and so she wants to come there to basically to get him to leave, right? And he just ditches her, doesn't he? Like kind of just, like wow.
Yeah,
man,
there's not, there really isn't like a whole lot of plot going on. There's a whole lot of plotting around.
Yes,
going on, and you kind of wake up a little bit when the more the island girls are in front of you, you're like, oh, hey, how you doing? And then Angelique Pettyjohn, she has a nice figure. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, man. Yes.
Which they make much use of. Mm-hmm. They sure do. They sure do. Yeah.
There's a negligee at one point that she's wearing. I don't know how it's holding her together. It's holding on her, at least, but that's okay. I mean...
Well, again, so this is another Eddie Romero directed Blood Island movie. Actually, Gerardo de Leon He co-directed it too. These guys were actually Filipino. These guys were heavy hitters in Filipino cinema. They made important films in the Philippines, and then they made money making these movies. It's the same story with the same kind of group of character archetypes. Yeah. So you have John Ashley always as a Harold Hansen Pants, and he's always got a buxom lady that I'm sure he handpicked to co-star with him in the films. And then you have a couple of professional Filipino actors playing other characters, and then a nefarious Filipino character, or a Filipino character and an American character, which this one has, where they both are kind of older, nefarious, disgruntled humans, I guess you could call them, on the island. And there's monsters tearing people apart, or a monster tearing people apart.
Now, the one guy, though, he finds his mom, too, right? And then, but then she doesn't want to leave either, right? No. Or something, and then her husband, so his father supposedly died under mysterious circumstances, right? Or,
I mean, straight honest, I don't pay too close attention to the plots because they always have 2 or 3 too many characters.
Yes.
And you start getting confused as to who's to who. So I quit trying. I just started absorbing these films like an Italian giallo movie almost. I just let them come to me, and I don't bother fighting them when they get to me. I let them happen. I let them absorb, and then that's it. They're there. They're in my ether, and there we go. But yes, there is his mother, and she's got something to hide. And then there's another young lady.
What's the one doctor's name? Dr.
Feelgood?
No. Yeah, him too. There's the other guy. There's
Dr. Lorca. Dr. Lorca.
Yeah, Lorca, yeah. Yes, I almost said Dr. Zuko. I don't know where that came from. But Lorca,
Dr. Lorca. So yes, so so he's the main Moreau guy.
Yeah.
Dr. Lorca. So there's an Islander girl who fancies the young, handsome Islander guy that's with John Ashley and Angelique Pettyjohn. And I'm telling you right now, I'm pretty sure, and I don't think she looked like, I'm pretty sure that was Connie Chung.
It was Connie Chung?
Probably wasn't, but I'm pretty sure it was anyway.
It could have been, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go with it.
I like it. Yeah. So she ends up being a little nefarious too.
Yes.
As this thing goes on. So what you have here is people trying to hop in the sack with each other, or trying to disown family-wise while monsters are running a boot, as they say up north. The monsters are running a boot and tearing people apart.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I think they do believe, at one point they try to figure out that why they exhume what's his name's dad's coffin. And find out that he's not in there.
No. Where could he be, Mr. Ben Harley? Where could he be?
You know what? He could probably run around the forest dressed in green, or because he came there for some cancer or something. Like they tried to cure cancer and it didn't work.
Oh, creating the chlorophyll problem that they have there.
Yes.
The green blood, the chlorophyll. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. So that's what caused him to die, I guess. And then they exhume him, and he's not there.
Mm-hmm.
So you start to put 2 and 2 together. Tim's always taught me that. He's Tim's good at finding out what's going on in movies. So I kind of figured that he might be the monster.
Right. Which actually just made Ben Harley really mad when I said, I just let these movies come to me. I don't try to figure them out. I was like, God damn, I was trying to figure it out. I was using your formula.
I was like, damn.
My formula doesn't apply to the Philippines. I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you. Yeah. But no, you're all right. You're correct. So, yes.
And then I think he comes back to kill the mother and then tries to kill the son.
Mm-hmm. But Connie Chung is kind of pulling the strings.
Yeah. Yep. And supposedly I think he had an affair with Connie Chung or something throughout the movie.
Oh, so it's a Dave Letterman monster.
Yes. Yeah. So she basically is pulling the strings and then lures him back to where Lorca's at, right? Or Zuko.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes. And then a fight ensues.
Oh, yeah. Good wrestling
and then fire. Yeah. You like the noodly wrestling.
Oh, God, do I ever. Yes.
No, Tim, you're right. There's just a lot of stuff going on. There's monsters. There's people. There's boobs and stuff and sex. And
right. Unfortunately, it's not better than Brides of Blood. I actually thought Brides of Blood was better than this. This one's a little. Yeah. I wasn't.
Doesn't have much of a it's just going.
I'm not too keen.
And I did, Tim, like you tell me, like I just go with it, Ben. So
right. Well, apparently,
just like an Italian film, right?
No. Apparently, too, whenever you're being attacked by these monsters, you look sort of like Chuck Berry doing the duck walk. Because you have to zoom your face in and out of the monster in order to get the correct. To be honest with you, that zoom effect ruined the whole movie for me. Like literally the whole movie.
I was like, oh man, you're gonna hate this.
Yeah, and I've seen it before, and as soon as I get these Blood Island movies confused. Yeah. Once the movie came on and I saw that zoom in and out thing, I'm like, oh, it's this one. I'm like, oh no. So I had to soldier through, had to get through it. Yes. It's not horrible. It's just that is so unnecessary. And I think this movie goes on for at least 15 minutes too long.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is because it's so similar to Brides of Blood. But there's one thing. The monster in Brides of Blood is a lot funnier looking. This looks a little sad.
Yes, yeah.
This looks like rotten vegetables. And that's sad to me. The puffy-faced tiki monster that was in Brides of Blood was much more fun. It gave me much more pleasure than this thing, whatever it was doing.
It looks awful. Yeah. I mean, it's awful. It's got got fangs again. Yeah, nice fangs. Yeah.
Every now and then one would fall off and they had to put it back on. But it's sticking out straight off the mouth, I think, at one point. But yes, it's ripped up clothes, so they didn't have to put any like makeup on the guy's body or anything like that. So but I will the main credit I'll give it. The nudity is great. These movies I'm just being a jerky guy. Yes, it's fun, but as a horror movie fan, and especially an older horror movie, the gore is great.
Yeah.
Because you're not really expecting the lengths at which it will go and how long they'll hang on the monster killing somebody.
Yeah.
Because back then they would show something gross and cut away real fast. In this one, they show something gross and zoom in and out real fast. And I do believe that was supposed to be trying to soften it. I
think so, or hide how bad everything looked.
That's probably the monster. That's probably the truth.
Now, the one guy had a kind of what's his thing going too in it.
I'm sure he did.
No, and not a good thing. What's his face? Drink the Kool-Aid.
Or Dr. Lorca.
Dr. Lorca.
Dr. Lorca, gotcha.
Yeah, what's his name? Good grief, Timo. The guy, drink the Kool-Aid guy in real life.
Jim Jones?
Yeah, he kind of a little Jimmy Jones thing kind of.
Oh, yeah. Well, why not?
Why not?
Guyana, Manila. You say Guyana, I say Manila. Who knows? Yeah. So but I was actually kind of looking forward to seeing this too. And then as soon as I saw it zoom in, zoom out, damn it, God, gee, blessed mother, So
I tell you what, the parents aren't very nice in this film, Tim. No, like the father, he's a creep. He's a creep. He's spying on people, skinny dipping.
Which one? Well, there's the one. Are you talking about her father? Or because when they show up, boy, does he look like he's seasick.
Yeah, he looks bad.
They got a lot of green paint on his face. Like, I don't think he feels well.
No,
he's got two people trying to hold him up. He's sweaty. He's all green. It's like, I don't think he feels well. I think the makeup department, the director did a good job of conveying the message that he feels ill.
Yeah.
Sure. It's just convoluted, Harley. I mean, seriously convoluted. Yeah. I mean, now thinking back, it's like, I don't think I forgot one thing in this movie, and I still don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it's really like not one main person, really. It's just like a lot of people in it. It's not like really one protagonist, I guess you want?
And the thing is, literally, these are the same movie being made over and over and over again. It's the same. All the Blood Island movies are pretty much the same. And we're going to soldier through them. We are going to soldier through. I promise you that. Yeah. I mean, they're worth discussing. And I think, look, these are big time drive-in movies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
These movies in 1968 were being played in drive-ins where parents had their kids in the back seat. in '68.
Yeah.
I mean, can you? Yeah. Can you imagine that some of the the more controversy that they, and I didn't hear about any controversy though.
No,
I think because the dads are like, I'm okay with this.
I'm okay with this.
Okay with it. The moms are probably, I don't know what maybe the mom's like John Ashley.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But I do know one thing. Whatever word got around, it drew every teenager in the land to come see these movies because they were kind of nasty movies for that time.
Oh, yeah. Like, and then you'd tell people about it and they would, it would stir up more people to go see it. You know what I mean?
Right. For this one, I'm going to give it the mildest of dirty, ashy grape apes up. I really want to poop on it. Yeah. I hate the zoom ins. You know what?
Pooping on it?
Yeah, real light poop. I mean, it was fun. I like it. But this is one just because of a lot of stuff. I can go back and watch one of the other films. And I do. Sure. Angelique Pettyjohn is okay, but she's not my favorite of the leading actresses in this series of films.
I tell you, at one point, she's my favorite. And wow, there was a point where I thought to myself, holy mackerel.
I think actually while me and Angie were watching, I looked over, I was like, I know Ben's thanking me right now for picking this movie out. I know he's thanking me.
Yeah.
And I was right. Yes. But I'm going to mild poop on it. But it's because of the annoying things that get in the way. This movie has already got a lot of strikes against it. And I love silly, old, stupid movies like this. Yeah. And I think the more nudity and gore they throw in, it's funny because it's clearly just thrown in to make $1.
Sure.
It's not moving anything forward. You don't need to have any of it. It's not doing anything but making the movie a harder movie. That's about it. Yeah. Or a little more titillating, I guess you could say. But I mean, I can watch one of the other ones without the Zoom crap.
Right, exactly.
And get the same thing out of it, So anyway, mild poop for me, although it is a fun little sleazy little movie. What do you think? I'm
gonna give it a real mild grape baby. Can't poop on it.
You like these Filipino ladies and Angelique Pettyjohn, and I don't blame you. I do too. I mean, these are very beautiful people in these movies. Yeah. I mean, so that's easy to look at.
I mean, they're just. I mean, like you're right though. It was a little long, but that's me. I say that all the time, so I didn't really want to say it.
Well, it is a little long for what it is.
But yeah. But I mean, but for the most part, it's.
Of course, you just watched Close Encounters, which was like, 2.5 hours long, 2 hours long or something. So, right.
Right. Yeah. And that's a little long for me sometimes, too. But Tim, definitely just a mild one.
Right. Okay. Yeah, all right. So. Well, let's get out of here, Mr. Ben Harley.
2 grape tape up for petticoats, her negligee, how hard it worked on that one time.
Angelique Pettyjohn,
Pettyjohn.
Yes, I'll give a grape tape up for Petticoat Junction. We'll do it there. So. All right. Well, happy fall, all of you deep thinkers out there. So let's
happy fall, y'all.
Let's be good to each other and be kind and friendly to each other this fall. We got some things coming up here that might make you not want to feel kind and friendly, but let's try to be good to each other. We are deep thinkers, are we not, Mr. Ben Harley? Well, you're a deep hater, but even deep haters are... Deep haters don't do the normal hate thing. That's for plebeians.
That's right.
It's much more devious, your hate. You can't just go out there and be normal hateful. So
No.
All right. Well, so that being said, I don't know what we're doing next week, but it's going to be absolutely wonderful and even closer to Mr. Ben Hartley pulling his hair out before a wedding that I'm sure he has no nerves about whatsoever. Until then, I just
want to make sure I might sleep there.
All right.
I make sure I make it. Yeah.
Well, until then, stay spooky, and we'll talk to you then.
Keep it creepy, people.
You've been listening to the Timo and Harley Show, brought to you by ScreenPrintingFactory.com, your affordable one-stop solution to all your screen printing needs.